For years, almost all AI models work the same way, generating text word by word in sequence. But what if this pattern is starting to change now? With Mercury 2, a different approach emerges. Instead of typing token by token, it refines the entire response in parallel, promising much higher speed and extremely low latency. And when we talk about agents, automations, and applications in production, this can change everything. Are we witnessing the beginning of a new era in language model architecture? Does this bring us closer to AGI, Artificial General Intelligence? So before we see what this model is about, subscribe to the channel. And to support us and watch the videos without ads, just click the join button. Deal? So let's get to the video. But first, I want to talk to you about Hashtag's Python Journey, a 4-day event where, over 4 classes, you'll build 4 complete projects in Python to show you how to use this language to stand out in the job market. Currently, Python is among the most used and valued programming languages by companies, and it can be applied in any field. This hashtag journey is free and has no prerequisites because all the projects will be built step by step, line by line of code, and everything will be explained very clearly. These are projects for task automation, data analysis, forecasting with machine learning, and even a real-time AI chatbot. So, if you want to learn how to program and grow in your career, the next edition of the Hashtag Python Journey will take place from March 2nd to 5th, and anyone can participate. Secure your spot on the official website by clicking the link in this video's description or scanning the QR code on the screen. Hurry and take advantage of this offer. Well, guys, today I want to share this news with you. Mercury 2 is live, the world's first reasoning diffusion LLM, offering performance that's 5 times faster than the main LLMs optimized for speed. Watching the team turn years of research into a real product never gets old, and I'm incredibly proud of what we've built. We're just getting started, exploring what diffusion can do for language. So, those are the words of Stefano Herman, who is the CEO of Inception AI, the company behind Mercury 2. Let's see what the company is saying on the blog. The fastest reasoning LLM powered by diffusion. Today we are introducing Mercury 2, the fastest reasoning language model in the world, developed to make production AI instantaneous. Why does speed matter more now? Production AI is no longer just about a single request and a single response. It's about cycles, agents, retrieval pipelines, and extraction tasks running in the background at high volume. In cycles, latency doesn't show up just once. It accumulates at every step, with every user, and with every new attempt. However, current language models still share the same bottleneck. Autoregressive and sequential decoding. 1 token at a time, from left to right. So, he's saying here that what we have today in artificial intelligence follows an old pattern, where responses are generated token by token. With this new diffusion model, things are a bit different. Listen up. Mercury 2 doesn't decode sequentially. It generates responses by means of parallel refinement, producing multiple tokens simultaneously, and converging in a small number of steps. So, it reduces the number of steps to deliver a more accurate and faster result. Less like a typewriter and more like an editor reviewing a complete draft all at once. The result, up to 5 times faster generation with a fundamentally different speed curve. This speed advantage also changes the reasoning trade-off. Today, greater intelligence means more computational power during testing, longer chains, more samples, more attempts, at the expense of latency and cost. Diffusion-based reasoning allows you to achieve reasoning quality within the limits of real-time latency. Now, take a look at this comparison here in tokens per second. They are using, for this comparison, models that were designed to perform at high speed. That's why the comparison is made with Cloud Rayco 4.5 and GPT-5 Mini, which are smaller and theoretically faster models. And look at the difference. While Mercury 2 processes 1009 tokens per second, Cloud Rayco 4.5 processes 89, and GPT-5 Mini processes 71. In other words, it's a huge difference. And look at this other comparison here regarding latency. Mercury 2, 1.7 seconds. GPT-5 Nano 4.5 seconds. Cloud 4.5 Rayco 5 seconds. Gemini 2.5 Flash Lite 7.8 seconds. Gemini 3 Flash 14.4 seconds. and the Gemini 2.5 flash 15.6 seconds. So, for those who want to learn more, I'll leave this link right here in the description of this video. How do we use it? There are two ways. You can use it directly here in the chat and also request early access. I've already made this request, but for now, they still haven't granted access. What's the downside of using it in the chat? I'll show you in a moment, but first, I want to talk a little about the API pricing. Look, Mercury 2 input costs 25 cents per million tokens, and for the output, 75 cents per million tokens. In other words, it's a much lower price than what we have today in several cutting-edge models available on the market. What does it offer? A 128K context window integrated reasoning mode, the ability to use tools, and structured output. So, for those who need a model to work with a large amount of data at a reasonable price, Mercury 2 might be a great option. Let's go. I want to show you what this new model can do now. If you click on early access, you'll land on this page here. Then you'll answer whether you're representing a company or if you're an individual user. You'll enter your name, your email, and request early access. I made this request yesterday and it still hasn't arrived, so I don't know how long it's taking. If not, you can access it directly here in the chat. As I said before, what's the downside of accessing it this way? It's that you don't use an account. So, everything you do here won't be saved. If you like the result, you need to download the code to your computer. Because whenever you want to start something new, it will erase the previous one. Since you don't have an account, you can't save it. It's just for testing, and here we have a few options. What is this little fusion effect button for? It's so you can see the artificial intelligence at work. It's really cool because you can see that nothing is written token by token. It gives you a preview and then refines that preview, which is really cool. I'll show you in a moment. As for the models, you have high, medium, low, and instant reasoning. So, you can keep testing to see which one gives you the best result. Another thing, I also have the option here to enable or disable web search. So, it depends on your needs. Another thing is that you can also dictate what you want here in the prompt instead of typing. Under this arrow here, they also provide some prompt suggestions for you to test the capabilities of this new model. So let's go. I'll use a prompt here that they demonstrated during the presentation. Here is the command to create a chess game in HTML5. I'll keep it on medium reasoning, the default, and send it. See the animation I mentioned? It also provides ready-to-use code here. So, here on the left side, after demonstrating that diffusion reasoning, it shows the code. And here on the right side, the prompt app. So, did you notice that the answer here, even with medium reasoning, is almost instantaneous? Now, I'm going to ask it to implement one more thing. Now, I want an artificial intelligence opponent here for my game. I put my prompt here and I'm going to send it. It's doing the diffusion reasoning here and has already generated my game. Look, as I play, my AI opponent responds. So, it's working perfectly. Now, one more request here, so it shows me the moves I can use in my game. Almost instant diffusion reasoning and implementation done. After you enter some commands here in the chat, this message usually appears asking you to request early access. I've already done that, so I'll continue without an account. It's not ideal, but it's the only option for now. Notice that now, when I click on my piece, it already shows me which moves I can make. Now, let's do a speed comparison between Mercury 2 and Cloud. Notice that here on the left side, I have the Cloud Ryko 4.5, which is designed for faster responses. So, I'm not going to compare it with Opus 4.6 and Sonnet 4.6, which are models that take longer and have deeper reasoning. I'm going to use Ryko 4.5 here. I'll use the same command in English so the models don't have to translate. What am I asking here? I'm asking it to write an inference function for LLM models, the same command for both models. I'm going to give a slight advantage here to Ryko 4.5. So I'll click on it first and then here on Mercury. So 1, 2, 3, go. Look, Mercury 2 is already done. It used that diffusion-based reasoning here. And Ryko 4.5 is still thinking. Notice that it hasn't even given me the code here. It just told me here which methods would be used and stopped there. Meanwhile, here on Mercury 2, it gave me the Python function just the way I asked for. I'll start a new chat. And now I'm going to ask both models the following. Write a summary about the main topics of quantum physics. Once again, I'm going to give Ryko 4.5 a little advantage here. Clicking on it first and then here on Mercury 2. Ryko 4.5 is still writing. It just finished now, and Mercury 2 had already written here for me in a few seconds, almost instantly. Are both models fast? Yes, they are. But what I have here in Mercury 2 is extremely advanced. It doesn't type word by word. It makes a draft and then refines that draft to deliver the result to me. Look how it turned out. The texts are very similar. However, this one from Mercury 2 was delivered in much less time. One more test here now. Look, I'm asking here. Solve the Pythagorean theorem. 1, 2, 3, go. Let's compare the results. Both models delivered at almost the same time. Here on Mercury 2, I have all the equations here and an explanatory text. And here on Ryko 4.5, pretty much the same thing. So, in this test, it's almost a tie. But still, Mercury 2 was a little bit faster. Now, can it also be used to program something a little more complex? Let's see. Done. I put my prompt here. It's written in English, but you can write it in Brazilian Portuguese because it's multilingual. So, there's no problem at all. You can use any language and it will understand. But here, instead of instant, I'm going to use the highest reasoning setting to see how the result turns out. Let's go. Let's see what it can deliver with this. So, I have diffusion enabled here. See, the thought process has already begun. It's generating the code. Look, the diffusion is happening. In just a few seconds, it generated the game for me. Let's check if it works. See? It goes to the end and returns. Let's see if it can clear a line. There you go. The little game works. It's simple but did the job. So, that's impressive because all of this was done in less than 2 seconds. Now, does it also work to create a landing page? Let's see. A very generic prompt. Create a landing page for my AI startup. I'll also leave it at the highest reasoning level here and send it. Let's see if it can deliver the landing page I asked for. This diffusion effect here is really cool, right? And the best part is that it gives me the result in less than 3 seconds. This one, for example, took a second and a half. Let's open it up to take a look. You can see it's something really simple. It's not very refined, especially because it delivers this in such a short time. So, as I said, in a second and a half, it gave me the result. Obviously, this model wasn't designed to have rendering quality like GPT 5.2, Gemini 3.1, Cloud 4.6 or anything like that. The idea here is to combine high speed with a lower cost. So, the goal of this new diffusion concept they're proposing is for us to have super advanced artificial intelligence models that can give an almost immediate response. Just imagine that. For robotics, for applications that deal with an extreme amount of data. This is fundamental because instead of waiting for a deep reasoning process that will take a few seconds to give you the result, what you have here is an almost instant response. So, just imagine if you work with robotics. You need to have an interaction between the robot and the real world very quickly. For what purpose? So that it doesn't have that delay, waiting for you to ask something, then it has to process, and only after that give you what you're asking for. None of that. When you have a diffusion model here that, instead of typing token by token, makes a draft and then refines that draft, everything happens extremely fast. Of course, this is just the beginning. But I believe that from now on, this new architecture involving data diffusion should shake up the market. Because the big tech companies will realize that it's possible to deliver a very efficient model with various types of reasoning, like we have here. The high, medium, low, and instant levels to deliver an efficient response almost instantly. Instead of having a massive model that does all the work for you, we'll have an AI engine running at high speed to provide an almost real-time interaction at a very low cost. So, what did you think? Could this become the new industry standard with almost instant responses? Let me know in the comments, okay? See you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Soul of my being, can you see? Bring it back now, back to